You always push it to set it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then can you pick it up?
It does go a little. I guess that's not so bad.
No, it's 10.
Okay. Is that about where it should be?
So the problem is you're at 40 on a sport bike. Now we have to be honest. How aggressive are you?
I do a lot of canyon riding. I'm not out there like breaking the bank because I haven't had, you know, enough confidence in the suspension setup. I know after this is set up properly, then I'll be able to automatically go a little faster. But I definitely do aggressive riding, and we do wheelies and stuff like that. So
right, and you can set the front end up at +4 for wheelies. So once you learn the electronics, then you can start backing the suspension away.
Right.
At that point, it'll be good. So pause that for a second. On fork travel, you want to see what's dirty and what's clean, right?
Right. I just washed the bike yesterday so that we could.
That's okay. So usually you want to be about 15 mil out.
It usually is right about that zone.
Right.
At like maximum compression.
Okay. So if you're there, the amount of travel you're using is optimal. So preload setting in the front fork is right where it's supposed to be. Okay. So. Yeah, they should give this guy the ticket and then he'll know. I'll get you in a second and check you on the list. Oh, okay. So once a year with this bike, you have to get it recalibrated for DDC.
Okay.
Which means it goes on the kickstand, they offload it and set it, and it recalibrates itself. If you don't do that on a regular basis, things go out of whack.
So it's definitely right at the 1 year mark. I've just literally just owned this motorcycle for just over 1 year right now. So
okay. So first thing is recalibrate DDC.
Okay.
So on 0, see how the bike shakes? So your rebound speed up is so violent, every time you decel to approach a corner, there's a violent weight change to the front.
It definitely is like kind of the buck and bronco sometimes when you catch a good bump, you know?
So we got to slow the flow down. So we're going to go to +2.
Okay.
Now watch.
Okay, it's a lot more controlled recovery. Doesn't spring so quickly.
Right. And all we're doing is managing flow by turning the tap to the right.
Okay.
So as oil ages, when it gets hotter, it gets thinner. So periodically, you've got to keep changing to stop that.
Gotcha. So during the summer, I may need to make another adjustment as we get a little warmer for California.
Right. So I'm going to leave you at +2. For compression, you're at factory default, which is 0, and we're going to actually lift that up. We're going to go to +1.
Okay.
Because of the nature of the roads you ride and how you're going to ride. And then front damping, you're optimal on preload, but you still have 0. So I'm going to set you to +1 on damping. Because if you have a crisis moment, you need a buffer.
Right.
And right now, you're close to bottom.
Right.
So if we build in and engineer just a little more buffer using +1, that will give you a lot more braking stability as well, which in a crisis will give you more chassis stability.
Which kind of happened to me in a corner the other day. A very, very tight corner out here on Azusa, and the front end kind of bottomed out on me and dipped a little, but we recovered. But yeah, definitely hit the bottom.
So we don't want to go there. So I'm going to send you out with this setting, ride it, come back, and then I'm going to take this, I'm going to screw it in 3.5 turns and send you straight back out. Okay. For apples to apples. You don't need to go very far, so 20 minutes one way and then turn around. 10 minutes is the shortest distance you can go out.
Okay. It's like 10 minutes out, 10 minutes back.
Yeah.
Feels good.
Okay, you understand why now?
It was too bouncy before. It was all over the place, which I just need to slow the compression or the rebound down. Yeah.
Rebound's a critical thing because as the oil gets older, cold, thick, hot, thin. Right. And then this will creep back in. Right. So every 800 miles, decel, do I pop?
So like if you feel that
well,
forward...
you'll feel like that.
Okay.
Just a nudge.
Right.
Oh, I know what that is. Rebound, one more positive.
Right, to slow that down, to keep the bike settled.
And then in the corner, left palm against the bar, constant radius, fixed throttle. Does it do this? No. Okay. Keep going. Oh, it's doing this now. Okay, I need to go +1 rebound on, so now I need to go to 2.
Right, so like when it dipped really hard on me, when I braked too far into the corner and leaned, and then it like,
that's
bottomed
different.
out.
That's a consequence.
That was just a consequence of poor riding habits.
It's just a consequence of a series of events.
Right.
Where if you control the events...
That wouldn't have happened if I'd come in a little slower.
Well, I need you to control the event for the test. You go back next week, there may be a hole there and there wasn't.
Right.
It's the road.
True.
So we're subject to all kinds of randomness. So every 800 to 1,000 miles test ride, do I have the stability that I got? No. Fix it.
Right.
Otherwise, our best and worst qualities of human is adaptation.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
You're very welcome.